Hey guys, what's up and welcome to one of our first tutorials actually. So in this edition we will be showing you how to use brushes. Brushes on our side and this technique or this usage of being able to use brushes or being able to learn how to open brushes can be used for basically every sites and other sites to be able to open brushes in general for Photoshop. So I'll actually be using Photoshop CS6 and I will tell you a couple of tips and techniques that I do things there. So this is actually our website, studiodork.com, and here you can see that we have a lot of different things going on. There's inspirations and there's some different freebies. We have different podcasts and stuff like that, and hopefully we'll be adding some really good tutorials for you guys. So you can see here, you can go to our website and go to the freebies section and go to brushes, and from the brushes section you could see there's a lot of different brushes to choose from, so you could take a look at those, and then if you want to see like more detail, like what kind of brushes it actually is, you can actually click on top on the little icons and see exactly what entails of the brush and how this brush can possibly benefit you. But let me show you an example how to actually open brushes and what brushes actually are. So in Photoshop, this is Photoshop right here. In Photoshop, you have a couple different ways to get to the brushes. You can either go to the little window panel on top and just hit the little brush section, and here you can see there's a couple different brushes. So actually there's a lot of different brushes here, and specifically CS6 they added a lot of different things, so there's a lot of ways to use these brushes with the Wacom tablet, which includes pressure sensitivity, and you can do some very customizable stuff, but that can get a little bit complicated, so we'll start off easy for now. Just being able to open the brush itself. So on our site, like I was saying, so you can go here and you can just maybe download something that you think makes sense or something that might work for you, just simply by going to the brush and clicking on the icon, and then you can just come here and click on it, just right here you can just click on that. I just clicked on it and you can see it started downloading right below, and it's fairly fast depending on your internet connection. Our brushes are pretty usually high res, so they should work for print stuff as well, which is beneficial. So the bigger the better. Actually in Photoshop CS6 you can have brushes, I believe 5,000 by 5,000 pixels. But normally before Photoshop CS6 it was always 2,500 by 2,500, and you really couldn't go higher than that. So even these brushes that we're making now, the new stuff, they're still we're still keeping it to 2,000 by 2,500 by 2,500, so people can still open them up in the older versions of Photoshop. Okay, so after you download that, you'll get usually a zip file, something like that. You can basically just click on that and unzip it, and then you should be a little folder there. And in that folder you'll see something like, you'll see a little thumbnails, and you can see that those are actually the brushes themselves, so you can have a little quick view of what they look like. And this thing right here, you literally can just double click this thing, and they will install in your version of Photoshop, whether you have CS5 or older or the newest CS6. So for example, I'm going to double click it right now, and we really don't see any differences. Like nothing really different has happened. Like how do we know if they're there or not there? Basically, so you can either, like I was saying, you can click this little thing right here, or you can just go to the window and hit brushes if you don't see that. So just go to the window and hit brushes, and that same panel opens, and then here you can see actually in the brush presets, so you can see here, actually let me just delete these guys for you. Let's see. So I just opened them, I just double clicked double click that the pack, and you can see that it's opened. That these are actually them right here. These 5, these weren't there before. So let me put this in thumbnail view, so you can actually click this thing depending on your version. Usually there will be a little corner here. You can click this little thing that says large thumbnails, and you can see just the thumbnails of the brushes. So it looks like I opened it twice. So first time I hit it, opened the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I opened it twice. So actually you can delete them too. I mean, you can take them out. So I'm actually doing this on a Mac. I'm holding the Option key, and I'm just clicking left clicking on the brushes itself. So you can see that I'm doing that, and just to show you one more time, I'm going to double click it, and you can see like now they're back again. So that's how you open the brushes. Another way to open them, possibly if you're having difficulties doing it that way, you can just click right in there and just do load brushes, and just find your where they're located. In my situation, they would be on my desktop in this folder, and you could just import them that way as well, and you could see that they're back here again. We just deleted them and they're back. Normally they'll be now that we got them in, normally you wouldn't be able to select them. See, I'm pressing the button and I'm not able to select them. But if you hit the B key, or if you come to the left side and hit this brush, you're now able to basically select them. So to show you an example of what those brushes look like, or what you can do with them, I'm gonna make this this file fairly large just to show you, because those brushes are fairly large. So let's see here. I'm gonna do like a 3000 by 3000, something like that. Those brushes are we usually create them at 2500 pixels, like I said, by 2500 pixels. So we have this big canvas. We're looking at it fairly at 16%, but this is a pretty big canvas over here. So those brushes are right here. So I have it selected. Remember, you can't select it like I'm pressing it, and nothing can happen until you either hit B for brush, or you come on the left side and hit it. So now I can actually select it, and you can see the brushes being used in action. So there it is right there. I'm using the brush, and you can do some fairly cool stuff with that, with brushes in general. Let's see. Also, there's some other techniques with this. So if you press the left bracket key, you can make it smaller, or the right bracket key. This would be the key on your keyboard on the right side of the P. Those two keys will make it bigger and smaller, and then you can just use it at will, however you'd like. Some other cool little things that I like doing. Oh, actually, before I get to that, on whatever color you choose, obviously the brush will be that color. So like if I choose like a yellow or a red or something like that, you could see that the brush will be these colors. And then you can do cool little things. So there's a lot of cool stuff you could do with that, and this way of opening the brushes works for all brushes, not just the StudioDorks.com's brushes. So something else you can do when you have this thing open, you can go to the brush panel if you don't have it open, and you can go to this shape and dynamics, and you can adjust some of the stuff to do some really cool stuff and some custom stuff. So you could come here and to the scattering and change this thing up. See this below right here? You could see how it's moving and how you're customizing some of your stuff or some of the brushes. You can change the angle as well. So I went back to the shape dynamics and I went to the angle, and I'm changing the angles of the brushes, and you could see that once I make it a little bit smaller, you could see that you could do some of this type of stuff. So one of my last little techniques that I like to do, or I like to show, is you can go to the color with the same selection still, and you can change the saturation, maybe the hue, and maybe the brightness a little bit, and I still have the red selected, and now it's gonna randomize these colors, do some stuff like that. So there's different ways to use brushes, and different things you can do with them. So you can be very creative and come up with some really cool stuff. Very good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, brought to you in part by StudioTorque.com. And download some brushes, use them, and let us know how you use them, and if you did any cool stuff. Hopefully you guys have learned a little bit from this. Have a good one, and we'll see you guys next time. Alright?